Well, after God knows how long, I'm finally uploading again. And after literal days, uh, the Game Awards website's finally working. So that's cool. Um, I recorded a reaction live on Twitch. I was streaming for once, shockingly. Um, and I got to see the Game Award like nominees live. But that video, because I made it a video originally, that video just wasn't good. So I'm gonna rewatch the nominees. Um, I'm gonna give my takes on each category, with more recent information and more just like time since then to like talk about it. Um, and then I'm gonna vote because the website seems to be working. I have the website pulled up, but I haven't. Did I pull up the? I know I have it ready on another. Yeah, I think I. Okay, hold on. Give me just 1 second. Quick cut. Okay, so I did have it pulled up on the proper tab, but yeah, we're gonna just watch this. Hopefully the audio is not too loud. It shouldn't be. Uh, and then we're gonna move on with our lives because I just don't have the time or patience to talk about this too much. Just make sure the audio is good. Sorry, quick fix of that. Uh, can you not hear that? I sure hope you can hear that. It'd be really shitty if you can't hear that. You know what? I guess I'll find out. Oh, I opened my files.
As nominees for the Game Awards by our voting jury. Who's in the running?
Oh, okay,
Well,
so you
you're
weren't
about to
hearing
find
it.
out
It's fine.
as we reveal this year's
He was just talking
nominees
about,
across
you know,
all the categories. And you
yeah,
can
it's
help
whatever. Doesn't
select the
matter.
winners by voting at thegameawards.com. All
All
right,
right.
should we
You
do
should
it?
be able to hear everything now.
Here's the first category.
First
For
category.
Best Performance, the nominees are
Before I even see the nominees again, I want to say this. If you have multiple performers from the same game, that is fine. I am okay with that because I've already done that in the past. I think if you're going to limit it to six nominees at most, I think you need to limit it to two nominees from one game because here's why.
Ben Starr for Clair Obscur Expedition 33,
Mm-hmm.
Charlie Cox for Clair Obscur
Mm-hmm.
Expedition 33, Erika Ishii for
Mm-hmm.
Ghost of Yote, Jennifer English for
Mm-hmm.
Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Konatsu Kato for Silent Hill F, and Troy Baker for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
So, I'm going to go back right here. I love Charlie. He did fantastic as Gustav. Genuinely. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Expedition 33 is my game of the year. However, Aaron Paul from Dispatch, which I say from Dispatch because shockingly enough, I've never seen Breaking Bad. I know of his work in Breaking Bad, and I know he's a really good actor, but I've never seen Breaking Bad. Aaron Paul as Robert Robertson is phenomenal. Genuinely. And I'm not saying that Charlie Cox's Gustav isn't phenomenal, but I think there's a very big difference between the two. And I think that if of the two, if I'm pitting Aaron Paul versus Charlie Cox for their specific role in their specific game, I think Aaron Paul deserves this nomination more than Charlie does. That's not to knock any of Charlie's work. That's not to say anything bad about his performance as Gustav or any other performance he's ever had in anything ever. I just think that having three nominees from one game is pretty weird. It's very weird. And I know that like that it kind of pads the number of nominations that Expedition 33 got, because each individual performer is considered a separate nomination. And it's cool that Expedition 33 quote unquote broke the nomination record for Game Awards. That's great. Charlie Cox, of all three of them, is probably the least deserving of the three from that game. And I know people are going to be mad, but at the same time, what's the argument against it? I also think, disregarding Aaron Paul completely, I think, again, limiting it to two performers from one game gives other performers a chance to be nominated. Now, if you were going to snub Jennifer or Ben in place of putting Charlie Cox there, I would still find that kind of weird because I think the performances of both Ben and Jennifer as their respective characters in Expedition 33 are just more interesting and more dynamic as for the entirety of the story than Charlie's role as Gustav. I'm just gonna skip back to where I was at. Okay, best ongoing
For
game. I
Best
don't even give a shit.
Ongoing Game, the
Um,
nominees are Final Fantasy XIV,
so the 14 FF14 and Fortnite have been on this list for 10 years. Like, if there are no other good ongoing, sorry, I pressed the space bar on accident. If there are no other good ongoing games for that long, one of those two is winning it. Like, there's no reason to give it to anything else. I'm sorry. Like, if Arc Raiders was here for some reason, though it just released, no reason to give it to that because it just released. Um, No Man's Sky has been nominated for about the same amount of time, but I'll give it to No Man's Sky. And technically FF14 did this too, where they started off as just one of not even the worst game. No Man's Sky genuinely did start off just terribly, but FF14 had like an idea that just didn't work anymore, and then it was fixed. No Man's Sky made all these promises, and eventually they got to that point, but it took them a really long time to get there. Whereas with 14, they had to completely shift the way that they had to do things. But yeah, so best ongoing
Ongoing
game.
Game, the nominees are Final Fantasy XIV,
I should probably talk about who I think wins best performance. If I was picking, I think I genuinely think I'd give it to Ben because Verso as a character is so good. And his performance as Verso is so good. I think one of the best things about Expedition 33 is the character writing. These characters feel the most human I've ever seen characters feel in a game for me. Um, and while I prefer when games don't necessarily like throw real world problems at my face, I think it's genuinely phenomenal how well that what the message of what Expedition 33 was trying to portray with their message in the game. They portrayed it so well. Um, I still think and this is spoilers for the end of Expedition 33, so skip about 30 seconds from now. I think the tail end of the game, when Verso, after you fight real Renoir, and Verso goes into that little pocket dimension where that piece of real Verso's soul is, that little high he gives when he starts talking to real Verso, that the way that was performed felt so genuine and raw and real. I still think about it. And that's all I'm going to say because I don't want to say anything else about Expedition 33. That doesn't need to be said. So that should also have given anyone who skipped plenty of time. So as far as my pick for best performance, if I'm picking, I'm saying Ben. But if I think about what the Game Awards is going to pick, I think it's going to be Jennifer, who is just as deserving. I can't say anything about. I already said what I needed to say about Charlie Cox. I don't think he's deserving of the win. It's cool he got nominated, but I don't think he deserved the nomination either. I think Aaron Paul, if they were going to pick a celebrity, it should have been Aaron Paul. I can't say anything about the VA for the girl from Silent Hill. I heard Silent Hill F was really good. I heard the performance from Konatsu was really good, right? That was her name, Konatsu, right? Uh, yeah, Konatsu Kato. I heard her performance was really good. I remember she said something about how the game like psychologically messed with her, or like performing this role psychologically messed with her a little bit, which that could have just been a marketing thing, but I'm who knows. And then I heard some decent things about Troy Baker's indie, even though the game itself wasn't that good. So anyway, back to best ongoing game. Let's look at all the nominees and then I'll talk about who I think is going to win.
Fortnite, Helldivers 2, Marvel Rivals, and No Man's Sky.
Um, see, I think instead of giving it to the three games that have been here for 15 years, they should give it to Marvel Rivals, personally, just because of how massive that game has been since it launched. It's still a really big game. A lot of people are still playing it. I know a lot of people are, it's kind of in like a bit of a weird spot, I guess, for some people, but I guess it just depends on how often you play these types of games. Helldivers 2 I think had a really good strong start when it released and then had kind of like a rough patch and then it kind of picked itself back up, but I haven't really heard people talk about it since. So I don't think that's particularly deserving of best ongoing game, but I feel like if I'm picking, I'm going to say Marvel Rivals just to give it a dub. But if I'm the Game Awards, technically it would be like one of the three games that's been here for 10 years. Let me just double check that I'm on the proper thing on OBS. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, that's my thoughts on best ongoing game. If I'm picking its rivals, if I'm the Game Awards, I'm probably picking one of the three games that's been here for 10 years.
For Best Mobile Game, the nominee.
See, I only play one. Well, okay, I don't play just one mobile game. I play quite a few mobile games. Um, and there's a few here, or there's one here in particular that more so for a meme. I'm just upset was nominated, but I understand why because it was a really big mobile game when it launched, and it's still doing pretty well. But we'll get to it.
These are Destiny Rising, Persona 5 The Phantom X, Sonic Rumble, Uma Masume Pretty Derby, and Wuthering Waves.
Okay, for one, Jeff said the names of the last two wrong. It's Musume and then Wuthering. He didn't say Wuthering. He said, how did he say it?
Sonic Rumble,
Didn't Sonic Rumble just release? Am I crazy? Whatever.
Uma Masume Pretty Derby, and Wuthering Waves.
Werther. He said Werther. That's different. So if I'm picking, I'm not picking Uma Musume just out of hatred. I'm just a hater. Uh, though that game probably of those games nominated, it's probably the most deserving one. Um, but it's just gonna make me upset because I have a buddy who plays that game like almost religiously at this point. He doesn't talk about it much anymore because the hype for it kind of died down, but anytime it's brought up, he starts freaking out about it because he knows it makes me mad. Because yeah, I just I'm just a hater. I don't have any reason to hate it. I just hate. But it's probably gonna win, and I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised if it was anything else. I guess Wuthering Waves probably. It's so interesting that for the first time in a while, there's not a Hoyoverse game here, like at all. I know Wuthering Waves is like the same thing, but there's no Hoyoverse games here. There's no Genshin, there's no Honkai, there's no Zenless. Okay? There's none of them. None of them are there. So, if I'm picking Wuthering Waves, Game Awards is probably going to pick the Horse Girls.
This year's nominees for Best Art Direction are Clara Obscure Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 On the Beach, Ghost of Yote, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight Silksong.
So that's a Game of the Year category by itself. As far as Best Art Direction, I could go one of two ways for me, right? I think I'm not giving it to Silk Song. I'm not. Silk Song, shockingly, like as far as like my perception of it from just like online stuff, it was like this big release that finally came and then it died down very quickly. And I was kind of like surprised. And maybe that's just my algorithm on like Twitter. I don't know if that's like a thing that matters, but it didn't like stay relevant very long from my perception. Um, and it probably is just an algorithmic thing, which is fine. But like I still will get like tweets constantly uh of just about things I don't even care about like all the time. And maybe it's just things trying to like push into my like my algorithm on Twitter. But Silk Song is not one of those things. It like showed up when it showed up and then it left. And that's fine. But I don't think Silk Song is the most artistically interesting game from this list. I think it's like on the higher end. It's definitely more artistically interesting than Ghost of Yotei, from my understanding. And then Death Stranding 2, I didn't hear anything about that game like at all after it released. I think if I'm picking, it's between Hades 2 and Expedition 33. And the entire point of, well, I can't say the entire point. That's more of like an underlying plot point later on in the game. Excuse me. One of the big things about Expedition 33 is art, like areas look like paintings, and that's interesting. Um, and then when you find out the truth, about everything, and I'm gonna stay vague for those who haven't played it. It's like, okay, that makes sense. Um, but then I think about Hades 2 and how great that game looked artistically, and I'm like, I could flip a coin, I need to beat Hades 2 still, and I need to get back to it. But I'm playing Pokemon right now. Well, not right now, but like I'm playing through Pokemon, and then I'll probably go back to Hades 2, and then I don't know. I'll figure it out. But yeah, I think I'll give it to Hades 2 personally. And I think as far as the Game Awards is concerned, like what they'll pick, I think it's a toss up between Hades 2 and or Expedition 33. Um, I think they're probably just gonna try to give it to Expedition 33 though. And I'm okay with that because I want Expedition 33 to win everything. Uh, but there are some categories here where you could argue that it probably shouldn't have been here, or there are nominations that were made that probably shouldn't have been made, which I already talked about one. So, but yeah, that's my thoughts on art direction.
For best score in music,
I don't even want to talk about this anymore. It's 100% Expedition 33. Absolutely. That is that is one of the best gaming soundtracks I've ever heard in my life. It is. No contest. No contest. Like, there's usually like a track here and there from a game that I'll like. Like, a huge reason I wanted to play Fire Emblem Engage was for one song, and it was Tear Streak Dice. That's it. I didn't play the game, but it was literally the only reason I thought about buying that game was for that song alone. I didn't hear any of well, no, I did hear some of the other music, but it did not move me the way that Tear Streak Ice moved me. And here's the thing. I felt this a very similar, if not an overwhelming sense of passion, like this for Tear Streak Dice. I felt that basically every single track I heard in Expedition 33. Every single one. Um, one of the greatest video game soundtracks of all time. Definitely one of the best modern ones, like no contest. But yeah, we'll look at some of the other nominees. Like if for some reason Expedition 33 doesn't win it, what could maybe take its spot?
leveled up by Spotify. The nominees are Christopher Larkin for Hollow Knight Silk Song,
Okay, so Silk Song.
Darren Korb
Hades has always had really good music. It always has. So
for Hades 2, Lorian Testar for Clair Obscure Expedition 33, Toma Otoa for Ghost of Yotei,
didn't hear shit about this game's music.
and Woodkid and Ludwig Forsell
I heard some of the music from the trailers, and I wouldn't be shocked. Like I probably should listen to the soundtrack, see if I like it at all. But I just haven't had. Well, it's not that I don't have the time. I just haven't had the. I haven't even thought about listening to it, to be honest. But I think Expedition 33 wins that easy. I don't think there's any contest. I think the only game that even matches it in terms of like potentially taking it would be Hades 2. But I don't really particularly remember much of Hades 2's music. And granted, I have not beaten the game yet, to be fair, and I haven't played as much of the game as some other people, especially people I know personally. I know my buddy just beat the game recently, but he had been playing since early access. I waited for the full release, digitally at least. I know it just released physically, and that's awesome. I was gonna wait physically for the physical version, and I was like, actually, I already have Hades 1 digitally. I'll just buy this digitally as well, just to like kind of keep it the same. Um, but yeah, once that game, I enjoyed what I played of it. I'm going to play more. I intend to. I just haven't because I've been playing Pokemon. But as far as Death Stranding 2, uh, maybe I'll listen to the soundtrack and see if I like it at all. Woodkid's a pretty interesting artist. I do miss um, fuck, what was their name? Low Roar. I listened to some of Low Roar's music, like Easy Way Out, I'll Keep Coming. Those songs in particular were awesome. Uh, a lot of the music of Death Stranding 1, like I listened to on my own time, but I never played the game in full, and I want to. I just keep getting scared. The game's scary, man.
Death Stranding 2 on the beach.
Okay.
The best audio design
Audio design.
nominees
Okay.
are Battlefield 6, Clair Obscur X.
I don't know why it's here. I really don't. I mean, I can kind of see why, kind of, some of the sound effects that they use being so satisfying or whatever, and how they incorporate sound into their battle, into their battle mechanics. But I don't think if this is another one where like this is just to pad the number of nominations, I don't think it even should be here because that's not something I really thought about with Expedition 33. But at the same time, like maybe it was just one of those things where like, yeah, let's just throw it in there. Which again, not a huge fan of that. I don't want them just putting games in there to pad up like nominations. I want them to genuinely deserve it. And I don't think this is one of those games that deserves this nomination. But it's fine.
Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 on the beach, Ghost of Yotei, and Silent Hill F.
I think I think of any game. If any of these games should win it, I would give it to Silent Hill. Not because I know anything about the audio design of Silent Hill. I just think we shouldn't give every single award to Expedition 33. I really don't. I want it to win the awards it deserves. And for it to be nominated for so many, that's awesome. But there are some here that it just shouldn't have been nominated for. Therefore, I don't think it deserves to win. This is one of them. And there's another we'll talk about later when we get to it. I don't know when that is.
Best
But yeah, for me, if I'm picking, it's Silent Hill F, and I hope the Game Awards thinks the same way. Like, okay, this is maybe a little egregious to put Expedition 33 here. Let's give it to Silent Hill. But I feel like they're just going to give it to Expedition 33 anyway, which I'm okay with because again, I want Expedition 33 to win everything. But again, I just contradicted myself. I'm now realizing because I said earlier I don't want it to win awards it doesn't deserve, like even nominations for. But whatever, I don't care.
adaptation was added to the
I don't
Game
care.
Awards in 2022.
This is one I want to talk about for a different reason. Why is Sonic 3 not here? Why? Why not? What's the reasoning here? I don't understand. Because Sonic 3 released at like the tail end of the year last year after the Game Awards, but for some reason it's not here. But Until Dawn, excuse me, Until Dawn, the Minecraft movie, and Splinter Cell Dead Watch, which I've never even heard of, is here. But Sonic 3 isn't? Whatever.
To recognize an outstanding show, movie, or other creative work inspired by and based on an established video game world. Here are this year's nominees for Best Adaptation: a Minecraft movie, Devil May Cry; Splinter Cell Death Watch, The Last of
Death
Us
Watch,
Season
excuse
2,
me.
and Until Dawn.
So I'm picking The Last of Us season two, even though I didn't watch it. Not because I didn't like what I saw originally of it. It's just that I just didn't end up watching it. Uh, but I know for the gist of what happens and what changes they make. I still think of the five nominations here, it's the most deserving. I know last year it was between Fallout and Arcane, and Fallout won, which I think is good because Arcane season two sucked. I'll say it. It sucked. The reason it sucked is because for some reason these fucking Nimrods at Riot or at Fortish or whatever the fuck was going on decided, oh, we're just gonna make our episodes about the same length as a TikTok. And we're not gonna expand on plot points that we start. And then we're just gonna end it prematurely. And we're gonna build all this, we're gonna ramp it all up within 9 episodes, all of which are about 50 minutes on average, which is less time than season one was. Season one of Arcane, peak fiction. Fucking like genuinely deserving of not only the nomination and the win of that year. As far as season two goes, really strong potential that falls flat. And here's the real kicker for me personally, and I've said this to plenty of people. I feel the exact same way about Arcane season two as I do about Game of Thrones season eight, the final season. And I'll tell you what that is. Where they had a lot of potential going into it, but because of the pacing and because of how they wrote everything, it falls flat. I'm not upset with what exactly happens in these seasons. I'm upset with how quickly we got there and how unsatisfying it felt. The first like 3 episodes of Arcane season 2 were genuinely great. And then it starts to go downhill in the second act, and then by the third act, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on anymore? Sorry, just random ass tangent. I might talk about that in another video or something. I don't know. I'll think about it. Um, but yeah, as far as best adaptation, I think Last of Us season 2 is gonna win. If they're picking anything else, maybe they pick Minecraft movie, but I can't handle Chicken Jockey winning over Last of Us season 2. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't.
For Best Narrative, the
Also, Devil May Cry and Until Dawn sucked apparently, and then I've again have never heard of Splinter Cell Death Watch.
outstanding nominees
So best narrative. Let's rock.
are Claire Obscure Expedition 33,
Fair.
Death Stranding 2, On the Beach,
Okay.
Ghost of Yote,
Okay.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and Silent Hill F.
I think Expedition 33 wins that pretty easily. I mean, the Silent Hills maybe the runner-up. I didn't hear anyone talk about the story of Death Stranding 2. I didn't hear anyone talk about Kingdom Come Deliverance after like 2 weeks of it being out. I didn't hear what was the other game? I forgot. Ghost of Yote. I didn't hear anyone. I know nothing about the story of Ghost of Yote other than what PlayStation told me through their trailers. I know nothing. And that's honestly kind of a problem, considering I'm a massive PlayStation head. If I'm not hearing things about Ghost of Yote and Death Stranding 2 as a massive PlayStation guy, then something's wrong. Something is very wrong. But yeah,
Expedition
Expedition 33
33
wins that.
Report
Easy.
celebrates game developers who continually and transparently engage, support, and respond to their
Community
players.
support. Okay.
This year's nominees are Baldur's Gate
So Baldur's Gate 3.
3,
Okay.
Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, and No Man's Sky.
Genuinely, every single one of these nominees is deserving in their own way. I think because I think Baldur's Gate won it last year. I think. I don't think it needs it 2 years in a row. I could be wrong. I think if it's deserving, then sure. I think Baldur's Gate probably does win that, but if I'm picking, I think I'm gonna pick Helldivers just because of like the turnaround on it. Like it went from being really hype to people not being so happy to them kind of like getting that good rapport back. So I would say probably Helldivers. In within like a 2 year time frame, right?
Your nominees for Games for Impact
Didn't
are
so this is the category for games you didn't play but should still be mentioned, which is mostly indie games and then a big Xbox game that no one played.
Consume Me,
Never played it.
Despelote,
Never played it.
Lost Records, Bloom and Rage,
Heard of it.
South of Midnight,
Heard of it.
and Wonderstop.
So literally, just a bunch of indie games, and then an Xbox game, which is South of Midnight. And I didn't hear anyone talk about South of Midnight, which is a bummer because I was low key kind of interested in that game, and then I heard nobody talk about it. And yeah, again, it's just one of those things with Xbox. Like they just, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Xbox anymore. I know they had a showcase today, like a partner preview. Maybe I'll watch that afterwards. But I'm not interested in anything they got going on. I'm not, and Xbox is kind of just not interested in doing anything interesting. They are fully committing to the third party developer that also makes a console, I guess. Whatever.
In the category of Best
Let me rephrase, a third party publisher that makes a console.
Multiplayer, the nominees
Best
are
multiplayer, okay.
Arc Raiders,
Right. Let me go back. Um, I don't really give a shit about that category. I guess I'll give it to South of Midnight because that's the only one I was even remotely interested in. But that could be fucking anyone's. Anyway, best multiplayer, Arc Raiders. Okay.
Battlefield 6, Elden Ring Night Rain, Peak, and Split Fiction.
If I'm picking, I'm giving it to Peak. I think Peak is the most deserving of these nominees, personally. Uh, I think Battlefield 6 and Arc Raiders are both still a little too new to be considered, personally. Arc Raiders, I've heard really good things about. My buddy is playing it. My biggest issue with Arc Raiders is the AI voice thing. I do not fuck with that. I don't fuck with generative AI. I don't. I'm not a fan of it. I will not support it. That's why I refuse to play Arc Raiders. I don't care how good that game is. They use generative AI in their games. And you can say, oh, you're just a pussy ass bitch. I don't give a fuck. Go fuck yourself. I don't care. I'm not playing it. I don't care if it's good. I'm not interested in that genre of games anyway. I'm happy you're enjoying it. I'm not going to support it. Uh, I'm done supporting things that I'm not interested in. I'm not going to do it. Split Fiction, I could see maybe winning, just because of like the team behind it and the studio behind it. But I think I would give it to Peak personally because that's multiple players. Best multiplayer does not mean number of players. And this idea where we need to start like niching our categories, maybe from like best multiplayer to best co-op, we do not need to do that. We need to stop doing that. We need to have general categories for the most part. There are some like, for example, I think we had a best supporting actor not too long ago, like a few years back. We don't have that anymore. I think we should keep that so that way we give more actors a chance to be nominated, personally. Why is my nose stuffing all of a sudden? It's fine. If I'm picking Peak, if I'm the Game Awards, I guess Split Fiction makes sense winning, but I'd still probably pick. I I, I don't know. I think they'll probably go with Split Fiction.
Best Independent Game celebrates games with a high degree of risk tolerance, produced outside the traditional publisher system. Those nominees are Absolem, Ball Pit, Blueprints, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight Silksong.
So this category is filled with three indie games and then three of the biggest games this year. And it says a lot that three of the biggest games of the year are three basically independent games. I say basically because there's a bit of an asterisk with Clair Obscur in particular. I feel like, and I also think it's starting to feel that way with Hades 2, with the size of their studios and how they publish games. Um, I think instead of giving Best Independent to Expedition 33, I think you give it to Hades 2 instead, because Hades 2 really does deserve to win something here, and I don't think it's Game of the Year. I think we'll get to that later. I think you give Hades 2 the win here, so you can give Expedition 33 the win at Game of the Year. That's how I feel. If I was the Game Awards, that's what I would do. For me personally, Best Independent is 100% Expedition 33, but that's only because it's my favorite of all the games that I've played on this list, which is only two of them, and it's my game of the year. Like Hades is like top 5 games I played this year. Expedition 33 is number one. I'll go over my favorite games of the year. Probably later. Maybe in this video, probably not. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Depends on how I feel.
Best debut indie game recognizes a developer.
So this is an interesting category with recent info. One of the nominees of this category actively made it a point to get themselves out of the running because apparently the developer has made games in the past under different names. And that's fine. It's cool of them to be like, "Hey, I don't feel I deserve this because I've already made games in the past. This is not my debut game. This is just the first game under this name I've made," which is kind of cool of them. At the same time, though, I have to ask, why bother?
Team that hasn't won a game award before. In fact, these teams published their first game this year. The nominees are Blueprints, Claire Obscure Expedition 30.
You did not need to put Expedition 33 in debut indie. You really didn't. You already put it in best independent and audio design. It's sometimes you got to just be like, okay, this is just padding numbers. Like it does not need to be here. It doesn't need to be in best audio design. It really doesn't.
Despelote, Dispatch, and Megabonk.
Megabonk, the person behind Megabonk. I don't know if it's a solo person or like a small team, but they made whoever. There was someone from Megabonk who said, "I make games." It probably just was a solo person. "I make games under different names all the time. This is not my first game." So they bowed out. They said, I don't feel I deserve to be nominated." That's what they said online. So good power on them, or good on them for doing that. I respect them for that. If I'm picking best debut indie, again, I think they're gonna Game Awards is gonna pick Expedition 33, which isn't the worst decision in the world. But if I'm picking, I think again, Expedition 33 doesn't need to be here, and I think I would give it to Dispatch. Because Dispatch is my second favorite game I've played this year. So that's just me.
For Best VR AR game, the nominees are
I didn't play any of these. I don't care.
Alien Rogue Incursion, Art
Okay.
and Age,
Okay.
Ghost Town,
Okay.
Marvel's Deadpool VR,
Okay.
and The Midnight Walk.
I'll give it to Midnight Walk because that's the only game I wanted to play. The only reason I haven't played it yet is because I want it to release physically, but I might hold on. Let me check something real quick. It's the only one I'm even remotely interested in playing. Uh, I know it was on the cheaper side. Midnight Walk. Okay, the Midnight Walk, I guess. $40. Okay. You can play it VR, but you don't have to, and I'm not gonna play it VR. I have no interest in VR games. I think just give it to Midnight Walk. I think Midnight Walk should have been in best art direction instead. I think this would have been one that should have been in best art direction. The art style or like the artistic direction of that game, just from what I saw of the trailers, was fucking awesome. I'm so into it. So yeah, give it to that.
For Content Creator of the Year, the nominees
I don't really care that much about content creator of the year. There's only one I'm gonna like kind of talk about.
are Pedro, Kai
Don't know.
Sanat,
Okay.
Moist Critical,
W.
Sakura Miko, and
Gotta get a
The
VTuber.
Burnt Peanut.
I think the burnt peanut being here is fucking hilarious, but I don't know. I don't really know much about their content. I know there's like this peanut I see on TikToks who's like on Omegle or some shit. Maybe that's them. I don't know. That's who I'm thinking of, and I could easily be wrong. Uh, but I think Charlie, uh, excuse me, I think Moist Critical in particular deserves it the most. I don't think it should be Kai Cenat. I don't really like him or his content. I think that genre of content, the just like the IRL content, is just so fucking lame. The drama content is so fucking lame. It's just a money laundering scheme. is what it feels like to me. I'm not interested in that content. I have no interest in pursuing that type of content myself, at least at the moment. Maybe one day I'll change my mind, but I doubt it because I just want to play games or talk about games or watch videos or I just want to do my own thing, and people who have like similar ideas or like just like a similar vibe like flock to me as like a content creator. I just want to do my own thing and then have fun doing it and maybe get some money. That's it. I'm not interested in drama. I'm not interested in politics. I'm not interested in any of that bullshit. I just want to do my thing, maybe make some money out of it, and just be someone's like kind of like comfort thing that they watch on their phone or their TV, or maybe I'm just put on in the background when they go to sleep, you know? That's it for me. That's when I feel like I've made it because I can turn on Maximilian Dude whenever and I can just put him on my TV. Uh doesn't I don't even have to be paying attention to what he's watching. I just put him on the TV. And if he's talking about something I care about, I will lock in and watch his content. But if I'm not interested in what he's talking about or playing or doing or whatever, I can just play on my phone or I'll go to sleep because he streams at ungodly hours. But yeah, that's I go on a lot of tangents. I'm so sorry. If I'm picking, it's Moist Critical. If I'm the Game Awards, I would still hope they'd pick Moist Critical, but it's probably going to be Kai Cenat, which kind of bums me out because that's just such a lame way to make content to me. Like he's done some cool shit for sure. Like I think his like mafia thons or whatever, he puts a lot of effort into his content, but like it's kind of like a similar thing with Mr. Beast, where I'm just not interested in all that. And I think Jacksepticeye kind of pointed out like a long time ago, like how it became less about making good content and it more so became about making money. And that's kind of just how content creation is now, is like, oh, let me fucking clip farm and do all this bullshit and whatever. Just fucking losers.
Part of the Game Awards is looking forward to what's next. And don't worry, we'll have lots of games to announce for you on December 11th. But what's the most anticipated upcoming game? Here are the nominees based on currently announced titles: 007 First Light, Grand Theft Auto 6, Marvel's Wolverine. 007 First Light, Grand
We're gonna see this in this category for the next 4 years.
Theft Auto 6, Marvel's Wolverine, Resident Evil Requiem, and The Witcher 4.
So, for me personally, I don't give a fuck about GTA 6. I don't care. I'll play it at some point in my life, but I don't give a shit. And it's weird to be one of those people who can just go and say, I don't give a shit about Grand Theft Auto 6, which has been like the most anticipated game for 5 years now. For me personally, my most anticipated game of this list is probably Wolverine. I'm really interested to see what Insomniac does with Wolverine. I'm really, really looking forward to that game. After that, it's Resident Evil. I need to play Resident Evil 4. I started it, I played the first chapter and I had a good time, and then I stopped playing it because I'm a fucking loser. Um, you're probably saying, "Oh, why don't you play Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake? You can play those too." I started to, and literally the gas station section at the very beginning with Leon stressed me out so much, I deleted the game. I'm a massive bitch, okay? And you're probably thinking, but Resident Evil 4 does the same shit. Yeah, maybe it does, but guess what? The enemies fucking die. As far as Witcher 4 goes, eh, I'm more interested to see like just what they do with the story, I guess. I need to play like the Witcher games myself or read the books or something because I'm interested in The Witcher, but yeah. But yeah, GTA 6 is winning this. I don't see why they wouldn't. But I this is also a category that quite frankly just doesn't need to be here. Why give an award to a game that hasn't even fucking released yet? Stop doing this. I'm now realizing that this is a bullshit category. Who cares? Why is this a category and not best fucking uh supporting performance? Whatever.
The best action adventure game nominees are Death Stranding 2 On the Beach, Ghost of Yotei, Hollow Knight Silksong, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and Split Fiction.
That crazy? I must be thinking best action. Yeah, it has to be best action game. I thought Hades 2 was here. Um, best action adventure? I guess you could give it to Ghost of Yotei. I guess. Like I don't really give a shit personally about any of these games, winning or not. But I think they'll probably just give it to Split Fiction. I heard decent things about Split Fiction. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I just don't give a shit.
For best role playing game, the jury selected Avowed, Claire Obscure
I forgot Avowed was a thing until they nominated it. And honestly, why the fuck is it here? Why is it here? I thought the game sucked.
Expedition 33, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, and The Outer Worlds 2.
I remember last year, last Game Awards, thinking that Monster Hunter Wilds was the only game like to release that was going to make a big splash, and it made the polar opposite. It made a big splash in the worst way it possibly could have. When the developers are saying, "Hey, your computers are too fucking slow and not strong enough to run our game," when you as the developer can make the game run better. Like it is possible. We've seen it happen. Um, but also it's really funny that this is the only nomination for Monster Hunter Wilds. I think granted, there's one song that I remember, the Ray Dow fight from Wilds. That fight song is awesome. But I think they could have given this best. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. But to be fair, again, like people just don't seem to like Wilds right now. Like for the most part because they just refuse to fix the game. If I As far as like who's winning and who I'm picking, it's Expedition 33. Like this is one of those categories like yeah, okay, it deserves to be here. It's obviously a role-playing game. And it's clearly the front runner. Like what were some of the other nominees? Avowed, Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Jury selected Avowed, Claire
Uh-huh.
Obscure Expedition 33, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, and The Outer Worlds
Outer Worlds 2, I swear to God, just released. Also, like
2. In the
sure.
category of Best Fighting Game, the nominees
I don't even want to go through this category quite frankly because it's just
are
one brand new game. Well, no, that's not two.
2XKO, Capcom Fighting Collection 2, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, and Virtua Fighter 5 Revo World Stage.
So, two collections, right? Am I crazy? Two collections? Yeah, two collections, a re-release, and then two new games. That was fighting games this year. 2XKO is like the big dog right now. And then Fatal Fury, I think, didn't really get a chance, personally. I didn't play it. I didn't really intend to anyway. But I remember talking to my buddy about it, and he said because it was on sale, and I think it might still be. I don't know. He said it was $25, and he said that's a waste of $25. And I said, in this economy, not really. Is it on sale? And he said, yeah, it's on sale. Like then that's not a waste of $25. It is if I'm not going to play it. Okay, fair. You're not going to play it. Therefore, it is a waste. But like, if you are intending to play the game, $25 in this economy is a steal. That's just another tangent I keep going on. As far as what I think is winning, probably 2XKO. I would pick 2XKO. I'm not picking the two collections. I'm not picking the re-release. And then Fatal Fury was very whatever. It doesn't have a lot of players anyway.
The
So best
nominees for
action
Best
game.
Action Game are Battlefield 6, Doom the Dark Ages, Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, and Shinobi Art of Vengeance.
So I played the demo for Shinobi, and it was pretty neat. Maybe one of these days, I'll actually play the full game, but like not anytime soon. I have plenty of games that I need to stop buying games and not playing them. Like I need to go through and see what games I bought but haven't played, like in the past year, because it's a lot. Um, the demo for Shinobi was cool. I don't think it's winning. Hades 2, I think they might give it. You know what? Let me go back to Best Independent. Give that to Silk Song, give this to Hades 2, and then give Game of the Year to Expedition 33. What were some of the other stuff?
Are
Battlefield 6 was one of them.
Battlefield
Not
6,
winning at all.
Doom the Dark Ages,
I heard okay things about Doom, and then it, like most Xbox games, died.
Hades 2,
Uh-huh.
Ninja Gaiden 4.
Ninja Gaiden 4, I if it's not Hades 2, it's Ninja Gaiden 4. Like Ninja Gaiden 4, I heard really good things about as far as its action. Story, didn't hear shit. Action, apparently they killed it.
And
And I do want to play Ninja
Shinobi
Gaiden
Art
4.
of Vengeance.
Innovation and accessibility celebrates games that are making our industry available and enjoyable to more people. The nominees for innovation and accessibility are
Assassin's Creed Shadows, Atomfall, Doom the Dark Ages, EA Sports FC 26, and South of Midnight.
This is a category that matters because it talks about a thing that needs to happen more often, and that's accessibility with games for people who are just have a harder time playing games in terms of like physical issues. Like this is a good category to have. Um, I think I'm picking Assassin's Creed Shadows to win only because of what like happened on Twitter, I think with Elon or whatever, or something happened and the Assassin's Creed Shadows like account manager at the time was like, "Yeah, you're a fucking loser" to this dude on Twitter. It might have been Elon, it might have been Grums. It was somebody. I wish I had a screenshot so I could fucking remember. Um, but I give it to Assassin's Creed Shadows. But outside of that, I have no idea who they picked for this category because this is not a category that affects me. So I quite frankly don't care who wins. I think it'd be kind of cool if South of Midnight won, but I don't know. I have no answer. I'm picking Shadows because of a Twitter thing. Like, don't take my opinion on this category seriously at all. Oh, sorry.
Next up, Best Family Game. The nominees are Donkey Kong Bonanza, Lego Party, Lego Voyagers, Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and Split Fiction.
Probably Split Fiction wins that. If I'm picking, I would say probably. Do I pick Split? Yeah, I think I'll pick Split Fiction. Yeah, I think Split Fiction probably wins this. Um, I don't know why there's two Lego games. I don't know what the difference between the two Lego games is. I don't know if Lego Party or whatever the fuck. What was it called?
Donkey Kong Bonanza, Lego Party.
Yeah. Lego Excuse me. Lego Party? Is that just like a fucking Mario Party wannabe? I don't know. And then what the fuck is
Lego
Lego Voyagers?
Voyagers,
What is the difference? Someone tell me.
Mario Kart World,
Mario Kart World's not winning that.
Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and Split Fiction.
Uh-huh.
The Best Sim Strategy Game nominees are The Alters, Final Fantasy
I'm picking Tactics. I bought that and I want to play it. I have the case right here. I just haven't played it. I have it downloaded on my Switch. I am ready to just start up the game and play it. I want to see what the hype about tactics is about. Because apparently this is one of the best Final Fantasy games ever, and I've never played it. So the fact that they re-released it was fucking awesome for me. Because not only is it like remade, essentially, it has voice acting. And it has a lot of cool ass voice actors. I want to play the game. I just need to actually play the fucking game.
Tactics, Evilise Chronicles, Jurassic World Evolution 3, Sid Meier's Civilization 7, Tempest Rising, and Two Point Museum. These games are not.
I'm picking Tactics only because it's Final Fantasy, and I have every intention of playing that game. Maybe Maybe that's what I'll fucking record for Fridays if I can stop fucking working every fucking day of my life. Is I'll record on Fridays. Maybe I'll record Thursday nights, which tonight's a Thursday, but I'm not going to start tonight. Maybe I'll start. I don't know. Maybe I'll start recording tactics. 'Cause I've never played tactics before, ever. Um, but yeah, I'm picking tactics to win just because it's Final Fantasy. I have no other reason than that it's Final Fantasy. That's it. Um, as far as anything else, I don't know what else could win. Civ 7's not winning because that game started off and sucked. I don't know if they fixed it, and I've never heard anything about any of the other games. So probably tactics.
Nominated for Best Sports Racing Game: EA Sports FC 26, F1 25, Mario Kart World, Rematch, and Sonic Racing Crossworlds.
I think you should give it to Crossworlds. I think if I'm picking, it'd be kind of interesting to see Rematch win, but I'm still going to pick Crossworlds. I think Crossworlds just deserves that. Don't give it to the fucking EA Sports game, please.
Now the nominees in our three esports categories.
I'm not going to lie, I don't give a fuck about any of this esports shit, so I'm just going to skip the esports shit. I do not care. So we're going to skip right to best game direction. I don't care about esports. I have no interest in esports. When I vote, I will pause, I will vote for the esports categories, and I will move on with my life.
Okay, we're almost done, but there are still two very important categories to go. First, Best Game Direction recognizes outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. The nominees are
Claire Obscure Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2 On the Beach, Ghost of Yotei, Hades 2, and Split Fiction.
That's a big category. It's kind of interesting to see that Split Fiction was nominated for that and not other things. I think, again, Expedition 33 wins that, and that's what I'm picking. Um, I don't see any of the other games beating that. I really don't. And then Game of the Year. Let's just get into this.
And now it's the big one. GOTY, Game of the Year, recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience to players across all creative and technical fields. For this year's awards, our global TGA jury has selected the following 6 games as the nominees for Game of the Year.
Claire Obscure Expedition 33 from Sandfall Interactive, Death Stranding 2 On the Beach from Kojima Productions, Donkey Kong Bonanza from Nintendo, Hades 2 from Supergiant Games, Hollow Knight Silk Song from Team Cherry, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 from Warhorse Studios.
There you have it, your
I think I think Expedition 33 wins that. I that is the game this year. Just straight up. That is the game this year. There is no other game this year like that. There's not. Um, I do want to say though, I find it very confusing how Donkey Kong Bonanza and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 were both nominated over games like Ghost of Yotei and Split Fiction. I think I had a pretty strong feeling that it was either going to be Death Stranding 2 or Ghost of Yotei, and I had a feeling of it being Death Stranding 2 over Yotei just because of Kojima. And I also had a feeling Donkey Kong Bonanza would be nominated as well. I didn't see Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 being nominated by that point. I'm very confused why Split Fiction isn't there in place of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. But I'm also confused how Bonanza didn't get nominated for like anything else. It got Best Family and then Big Game of the Year. 2 categories total. Kingdom Come Deliverance got 3. Whereas Split Fiction, how many categories was Split Fiction nominated for? Can I look this up? Here, actually, let me just. How many categories was Split Fiction nominated for TGA 2025? Four, okay, that's still one more category than Kingdom Come Deliverance and two more than Bonanza. And both of those include Game of the Year, by the way. This is without Game of the Year. If it had Game of the Year, it would have been five. How many was Ghost of Yote? Eight categories. Death Stranding 2. I'm now interested. Death Stranding 2. Eight. Again, what the fuck? What are we doing here? I'm not saying that the more not like categories you're nominated for means you should be game of the like you get the swing in for game of the year. Because I'm just confused. Because apparently Split Fiction was really good and was nominated for more categories. It just kind of confuses me. Yeah, let's look. Okay, Hades 2 received six. I'm I'm not this is the only AI like that I use kind of, but that's only because it's at the top of the page and it actually kind of fucking works. Expedition 33 was 12 nominations. Three of those were from one category. It should be like if we go off categories, it's 10 categories, whereas everything else is an accurate number. It's 10 categories is still nuts, by the way. Just want to throw that out there. Um, yeah, I'm very confused. What the fuck is all this? Does he just like talk for 15 years? What does he say here?
Your vote cards, you can share your picks on social media. There is still one more category where the nominee.
Oh, it's like the player voice thing. Yeah, whatever. I don't give a shit about that. Yeah, I'm just very confused why Split Fiction and Ghost of Yotei aren't here when they were just nominated more often in other categories. Like if Bonanza had like another two categories, like best action adventure and fucking I don't know, best audio design, then I could be like, okay, I kind of see it. But I'm really confused. So I vote okay. I'm gonna do a quick little cut. Actually, you know what? No, I'm just gonna quickly browse through. So I voted Team Falcons because I like Falcons kind of. I think they're kind of cool. Uh, esports athlete, I'm gonna pick Brock because his name is Brock. Uh, esports game, I'm gonna pick. I pick Mobile Legends. I don't care. I don't care at all. I don't care about that. Content creator of the year, I'm gonna pick Charlie. I'm just gonna blitz through ones I don't give a shit about. My most anticipated is Wolverine. I already spoke about that. I'm just going off of what I vote. I already kind of talked about it. Oh my God, please. Thank you. Best adaptation, Last of Us. All these other ones either suck or just don't exist to me. Best multiplayer, I'm giving Peak. Best sports racing, I'll give it to Sonic Racing. I think rematch winning would be kind of interesting, but the other three just don't deserve it. Best sim strategy, I'm giving it to Tactics just because it's Final Fantasy. Uh, the Alters does look kind of neat, or the name sounds kind of neat, but I don't know anything about it. The fuck is Tempest Rising? Was that even mentioned? Am I crazy? Hold on. I'm sorry. I don't remember Tempest Rising at all. Was that mentioned in the video? Am I stupid? Oh, right. Adaptation, narrative, community support. Best sin. I'm sorry. I need to rewatch this
The
section.
best sim strategy game nominees are The Alters, Final Fantasy Tactics, Ivalice Chronicles, Jurassic World Evolution 3, Sid Meier's Civilization 7, Tempest Rising,
Okay, it was.
and Two.
I'm just a fucking dumbass. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Tempest Rising devs. I did not notice at all, ever. Best family. Unironically, I think I'll give it to Donkey Kong. 'Cause I actually played a little bit of Donkey Kong and had a good time from what I played, but I didn't feel like going back to it. 2XKO, I'll give fighting game. Best RPG, giving it to Expedition 33 easily. Action adventure, I'll give it to Ghost of Yotei, I guess. Best action game, I'm picking Hades 2. Ninja Gaiden 4 is like a runner-up for me, even though I didn't play it, and then I don't really give a shit about the others for that. VR AR, I'm giving to Midnight Walk. I would probably maybe say Deadpool, but I didn't hear anyone talk about the game after it released. I didn't even realize it came out. I'm gonna pick Wuthering Waves because I refuse to pick the Horse Girls. I just refuse. I'm a hater. Bite me. Debut indie. Oh, they actually altered the page. This is weird. I don't like that. I'm giving it to Dispatch. I think Dispatch deserves the win for that. The fact that I just can't get over the fact it didn't get nominated for anything else. It could have gotten Best Narrative, it could have gotten Best Art Direction, and it could have gotten one of its performers for Best Performance. I'm just saying, that's three other categories it could have been given for. And none of them are unreasonable, by the way. Best Independent Game, I'm giving it to Hades 2. I'm not gonna speak any further, even if in my heart it's Expedition 33, just because of the best independent. Actually, fuck it. This is my fucking list. Change my vote. Expedition 33. That's my fucking game. I don't care. I think you should let Hades 2 win that though. I'll say that. I think Hades 2 should win that category because I think Hades 2 deserves to win something. And it's not winning best music and it's probably not winning game of the year. Um Best ongoing, I'm just gonna or no, this is community support. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. Let me Yeah, best community support. I'll still give it to Final Fantasy 14. Best ongoing, again, I'll give it to 14. But literally just because it's Final Fantasy. Games for Impact, I'll give it to South of Midnight because that was the only game I even was remotely interested in playing, even though I didn't play it. Innovation and accessibility, I'm gonna give it to Shadows just because of a Twitter thing. Performance, ooh, this is tough for me though. I mean, I'm picking Ben. I'm gonna pick Ben, but I think Jennifer is a really close second, man. For me, like they play off each other so well in that game. Oh man, it really is just a fucking coin toss. It is nuts. Um, like I could go either way. It really just depends on my mood, but I'm gonna stick with Ben because I really feel like he got snubbed in 2023 for Clive. I think he should have won for Clive. I know Neil Newman won for Astarion, and that's great. Happy for him. But I really feel Clive should, or he should, Ben should have won for Clive. But that's just me. Maybe this is the redemption, but at the same time, I'm sure he would be just as happy if Jennifer won as if he won. Best audio design. I'm gonna give it to Silent Hill. I don't find the audio design of Expedition 33 to be particularly memorable outside of like the Perry noise. That's it. Score and music, duh. I'm not even gonna talk about that any further. Art direction, I'm gonna fuck it. I was gonna give it to Hades 2. I'm voting Expedition 33. Why can't this site be in reversed order like it is on the video? I'm so confused. Best narrative, Expedition 33. Game direction, Expedition 33. And then game of the year, Expedition 33. View all categories. Let me get my vote card, bro. Yeah, let me peep this. You guys can't see that, right? No, you can't. Cool. Anyway, I don't know what else to do at this point. So, because I've talked about the Game Awards, I voted. Yeah, there's nothing else for me to do at this point. I just realized I don't understand why it does this. I don't know why not my OBS, my Opera GX is so out of line with my OBS. I don't get it. It's fine. It's whatever. Anyway, if you made it to the end of your real one, I appreciate you very much. This is a hour long video. I didn't realize I was talking for an hour. My throat's starting to hurt now. Uh, but yeah, if you made it to the end of your real one, I am gonna go now. I don't know if I'm gonna record another video or what. I'm still debating. But yeah, y'all have a good night. Let me know what you voted for the Game Awards. I will say this. The last thing I'll say. I didn't realize I was so far to the side. I'm so sorry. I'm just happy there's no DLC nominated this year at all. Not one. None of them. No DLC at all. Yay.